Welcome back to the Decidedly Local podcast. I'm Jeremy Evans. Last weekend, I went shopping in downtown Saranac Lake and also walked around Main Street in Lake Placid and stopped in a few different stores. And it was great. It was snowing. People were out. People were happy and excited. A lot going on in both communities. And so, what did I think about as I was walking and shopping? Well, public transportation, of course. Weren't we all? I know it sounds a little bit weird, but just hear me out. And I really don't know why it came up, but it did. And so I started dreaming, and I want you to dream along with me about what public transportation could look like in the Tri Lakes. Again, we're just dreaming. So let's forget money for a second and just talk about what would be amazing. First, I want to start with something that I read from an article that was talking about a presentation being given by Jarrett Walker, who is a renowned public transit consultant in North America. He advocated for creating transit systems that help as many people as possible reach as many destinations as possible, as quickly as possible, so that they may have as many real choices and opportunities as possible. Or, in other words, transit as a means to freedom. So, what would that look like from Tupper Lake to Lake Placid? Well, first of all, if I were in charge, I would have a bus that goes from Tupper Lake to Saranac Lake and Lake Placid back and forth all day long at a frequency no more than 30 minutes, so that in any one of those three communities, you knew that all you had to do was wait for 30 minutes at the most, and you'd be able to hop on a bus or shuttle that went to the next community. Because it's really important to have frequency and consistency and get to the point where you don't even have to wait. You don't even have to look at a timetable for when the bus is coming. Think about how it works in New York City, especially with the subway. Few people, nobody goes and says, "Well, I'm gonna time it and see I'm gonna look up when the subway comes." So the subway trains come at such a frequency, you just go into your station and you wait and get on. So that's the first thing I would do is make a shuttle that goes back and forth between the three, goes back and forth to hubs in each of the three communities. And there wouldn't be a lot of stops in between because stops really slow you down. The purpose of the shuttle is to get you from one community to the next. All right, so that's just one piece of the puzzle as we daydream together. What would be the next piece? Well, the next piece would be to do what Lake Placid already does, which is to have a trolley that goes to destinations within the community. So everybody knows about the Lake Placid trolley. It used to be operated by, I think, the village of Lake Placid. Now it's operated by Essex County Public Transportation Department. And wouldn't it be awesome if Saranac Lake and Tupper Lake had something similar? So with a circulator or shuttle system like that within the community, you find all of the major destinations and neighborhoods, and then you make sure each one of those is connected. So think about grocery stores, centers of employment like the schools or the hospital or downtown, and you make sure the shuttle goes around to all of those. And again, it's on a frequent basis so that you never have to really wait very long to be able to catch a ride. So that's my dream, is to have this back and forth connector between all three communities going very frequently to the point where you don't even need to look up a timetable, and then have three shuttles going within each community, and it's the same frequency and consistency. Let me go back to what this article said about Jarrett Walker. His purpose is to make transit a means to freedom. Now, for many of us in a rural area, we have our own personal cars that we depend on to get everywhere or almost everywhere. And it's just the nature of things. It's low population density, and we have vast distances between destination destinations, and we're used to it. But there are a lot of people who who struggle to own and keep a car on the road. It's expensive. It costs something like $7,000 to $8,000 a year to own and operate a car in the United States. Gas is expensive when you're driving a long ways. For a lot of people, they're only one breakdown or deer collision away from being in a real bind. They may not have a second car. They may not have the money to fix a car. And when the car goes down and they're out of options, it makes life really difficult really quickly. And so a really good public transportation system can give people options, number one, and it can give people freedom. And again, it's not about taking away choice from anybody, it's about giving options. So think about if we live here in Saranac Lake and you're going to go to Lake Placid for something. When I was there over the weekend, it was really busy. And, us locals know where to find parking spots and no big deal on the one hand, but parking was limited. Think about the different events that you go to at the Olympic Center and what that does to parking. What if you could hop on a bus, shuttle bus, and just not have to plan it really ahead of time and just get to Lake Placid in the same or less amount of time as it takes you to drive and park and walk to wherever you're going to go? Would some people do that? No question. What if you wanted to get over there and go to dinner, have some drinks, and get home safely? What if the weather's not great and you have something planned there, or you work in Lake Placid, or you work in Tupper Lake? Over time, if you have a transportation system that is reliable and has the right frequency and is fast, people will take it. Not just those that have to, but those who have the choice and choose to. And that is a goal worth striving for. Okay, thanks for daydreaming with me. Franklin County and Essex County public transportation departments do great work, and I encourage you to check out what they do. But it's fun once in a while to think about what public transportation could look like just for fun. We'll see you next time.